Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel and you're watching Komal Taya. So guys, in the last video I talked about the very important question. In case you have missed on it, you can go back and see that lecture and the theory lectures also and example lecture also. I'm pretty sure this concept is very clear if you'll see those lectures. So in today's video I'll talk about how to calculate the trial wave energy and like that. So that will be little bit different, where I'll be discussing, like, we'll be adopting one method that would be secular determinant one, and where we'll be discussing about H11, H12, S11, S12. You will be introduced to those terms. Fine. So for the better understanding of them, you have to be with me, and without further ado, let's start our lecture. So for that, first pay attention over the screen. So this is some, like, if I have to solve for them, so I'll take one trial wave function. You can see over here I have taken some trial wave function. So that is trial wave function, and it depends upon variational parameters C1 and C2. Also, one more thing I wanted to tell you guys, that if you miss this lecture, you won't be able to get HUCKEL molecular orbital theory, which I'll be explaining immediately after this lecture, after this topic basically, because that topic is dependent on this principle only, this thing only, which I'm going to tell in this question. So just be with me, everything will be very clear to you if you'll understand these things very nicely. So let's start. So this is some trial wave function, and it depends on two variational parameter, that is C1 and C2. So I have taken linear combination of this C151 plus C252. Clear? So how I'll determine energy? So the basic formula is, the basic quantum tells us that if we want to calculate the average energy of E, so that would be always like this: psi trial, because this is trial wave function. Hamiltonian means total energy, you know that Hamiltonian energy, that is same. So psi trial d tau, this is the formula, like psi h, this E will be over here, and psi trial d tau divided by, now no E will be there, this is normalization, psi t and d tau. Fine, this is the formula. So if I put down the value, so we know that we have taken this trial wave function, and if I'll take down the value of this trial wave function, that is C151 plus C252. So I'll take this value, that is C151, I'll put over here C151 plus C252, that is done. Then H, and then this psi1, that is C151 plus C252 again, divided by this trial wave function, psi trial wave function, it is again, I'll be putting the value, that's it. This psi trial wave function value is there, again this psi trial wave function is there, and then d tau. Clear? So now what will I do? I'll expand these terms. Like, in how? So what I'll do, I'll just do multiplication of these things. H will always be there, you know that. So what I'll do, I'll multiply this with this, and then we'll multiply this with this. Clear? So it will be C151, I have written C151, then H. Write in that order only. Fine. So C151, then H, then C151. Okay, I have written over here, and d tau also. Plus, because plus is there, plus. So this thing will be there. Now I'll multiply this with this, because H will also be there and d tau will also be there. So that would be this C151 H, and now I'm taking this second term, that is C252 and d tau. Same with this. Now I'll go with this C252 with this. So this is C252, and then H will be coming over here, and this term C151 and d tau. Don't forget to take d tau. Plus, now I'll be taking this term with this one. So it would be C252 and H, and then C252 d tau. Clear? So this is the basic thing. Divided by, same I'll do in denominator also, I'll do the same thing, similar thing. This is for bio people basically. If you have problem guys in this also, I can elaborate on this in Telegram group or in comment section. If you have query, I'll be happy to eradicate your doubts. Fine. So this is, now if I come to denominator, this is C151, and again I'll be multiplying this with this. So this is C151 and C151 d tau. Then I'll be taking this C151 with this term, that is C151 and C252 d tau. I'll be taking now this with this, and then this with this. So first I'm taking this is integration C2 phi 2 C1 phi 1 d tau plus then this one second term, this C2 phi 2 and C2 phi 2 d tau. This is very basic thing. I'm just taking this overall, like you don't have any confusion, like you don't have to study again this thing that what is written over here. So what will I do? My next step will be that I'll take this these C1 things outside. I'll just put these things inside only, phi 1h phi 1 d tau. I'll take this C1 C2 because these are constants only, so I'll be taking them outside. So this C2 here it would be C1 square, right? C1 into C1. So here it would be C1 C2. Again here it would be C2 C1 and here it would be C2 square. So these things will be taken out. Same with here, like it would be C1 square and C1 2. So when we'll be taking this all constant, this term will be looking like this. Somewhat like this, if you can see over here. So I'll be telling you like this. Okay, so it will be looking like this, that I have taken all the constant like this, C1 C2 over here, C1 square, then C2 C1, and in integration everything will be same only. No need to change anything, just put it like this only and like this only, and it will be our this equation. So now what will we do, like to replace this thing? Like we can't write again and again this integration phi 1h phi 1 d tau, it will be very time taking. So what we'll do, we'll replace these things with some integrals. Fine, so I can write, like I replace this phi 1 h phi 1 d tau with h11, like this is first term, this is first term, I'll write first term here in first term, and first term, like I'll write second term in second phase. Fine, first term in first phase, second term in second phase, like that. So if I have to write like this h22, if somebody says what is h22, so obviously you will be writing phi 2 h phi 2. So if someone is saying this is phi 1 h phi 2, I'll be writing like this over here, phi 1 h and phi 2 d tau. Obviously I'll be taking first, so in first phase this is 1, so I will write 1, and in second phase it is 2, I'll be writing 2. Fine guys, I can write like this also. To just reduce my work, I'll be replacing it with some integrals, and same with these things, because these things I can replace, hh terms are there, so now I can write their number. But what about these terms? What about integrated terms? These are without h. Fine, can you see only phi 1 is there, and here in numerator h was there. So what will I do? Phi 1 is there. So now I'll just do this thing, that with phi 1 this phi 1 I'll replace it like this. If I have to write this phi 1, this is overlap integral. When two wave function will be there, like no Hamiltonian, no other function is there, this is overlap integral. I will write 1 1, here I will write 1 1. And what other things are there? Here 2 1 is there and 1 2 is there. So if I have to write phi 1 2 d tau, it would be s, this is 1 and this is 2. That is the only thing, that is the moral of the story, if I have to say. So I'll be replacing everything with this h11 or h12. So it is c1 square. So guys, what will happen in exam also, if someone is saying that h11 is given, so this is understood that the meaning of h11 is phi 1 h and then phi 1 and d tau. If s12 is given, so that is understood that this would be phi 1 and phi 2 d tau. Don't put h over here, that would be the huge mistake. Fine, so just don't get confused between h and s. Fine, so now what I'll do, now I'll replace all these things, like whatever was written over here, I'll replace them with h11, h12, s11, s12. So what I'll do, this is c1 square, okay, I have written. So this term is h is there and phi 1 is there. So this is h11. So I'll write h11. Here again c1 c2 is there. So I have written c1 c2. And here again integration phi 1 h phi 2 is there. So it would be h12. It would be h12. So I'll be writing h12. And here it would be c2 c1. Okay, c2 c1 is there. I'll be writing h21. Clear? h21 is there. Plus c2 square is there, and phi 2 h phi 2 is there, so that means h22 is there. So I'll write h22 over here. Clear? So now let's come down to denominator part. So it is C1 square. Okay, it is C1 square. This phi 1 phi 1, that means this is S11. And this C1 C2, this phi 2 phi 2 would be C1 C2 and S12, because this is 1 2. So I will write S12. So don't get confused that why you are not writing it as H, because in H was in between. Here no H or any other operator is there. Clear? So this is C2 C1, you will write C2 C1 exactly, and then phi 2 phi 1 d tau, so this will be replaced by S21. So you will be writing S21 over here, and same with this C2 square and phi 2 d tau, so it would be S22. So now what will my next step? Okay, I have replaced it. So what can be my next step? So guys, to find the minimum energy, what I'll do, I'll put, so to find the minimum value, what we usually do, that we take the derivative with respect to the variational things, and we put it equal to 0. So what we'll do, we'll differentiate this energy with respect to C1, because it is changing with respect to C1 and C2. Fine. So I'll just differentiate this del E, this energy with respect to C1, keeping the other thing constant, and same with this energy. I'll again differentiate it with respect to C2, keeping the other thing constant, that is C1, and I'll put it equal to 0, like del E by del C1, C2 will be constant, then del E by del C2, then C1 will be constant, we'll be putting it equal to 0. So guys, when we'll be doing the differentiation, it will be very messy. It will be very messy algebra. So only mathematician can solve these properly. So for us people, the only equation we'll be getting direct equation, that is, we'll be getting this secular equation. Like these equation we'll be getting in terms of this. Fine. Like it will be very complicated to solve this. Clear? So like mathematician can only solve this, or so we got directly these equation, and we'll be just seeing, because the ultimate part is different one, where we need to focus. So right now it would be H11, this is the equation, H11 minus ES11 C1 plus H12. You don't have to remember it, I'm just telling you. Fine. H12 minus ES12 C2 is equal to 0, and same here H21 minus E. I'll be telling you a method to remember this, that is C1 plus H22 minus ES2 C2 is equal to 0. So okay, now I got this equation. What after that? So guys, to solve this, we'll convert, like the only solution can be through secular determinant form. Fine. Now we need to solve these equations too. Fine. To solve them, that can be solved by by changing them into secular determinant form, and that is this form. So we converted them into this form. So this term comes out to be this, that is H1E minus S1. Don't get confused, I'll be telling you how to remember it. And this C1 C2 equal to 0. So that leads to that this will be equal to 0, like this will be equal to 0, and this will be equal to 0, like that. So guys, to find the value of energy, we'll be putting this whole determinant equal to 0. Okay, I have put equal to 0, and when I'll be getting the value in determinant by solving them. For people who don't know how to solve the determinant, so you must have studied it in 11th or 12th class. Fine. So people who belong to bio background, please go to any YouTube video and see how to solve the determinant. It is very easy, although I'll be telling in my questions also, where I'll be discussing previous year question based on it. So but for now, I'll be telling you that if you get till this form, everything will be given in the question. Like the question will be given, and you have to convert that question in term of this. Guys, in exam, what will be there? They will be giving H11, H12, S11 and S12. So what you have to do? You just have to put these value in this. You have to put these values in this. So you will be getting suppose 3 and this X, 4, something like that. So you will be getting like that, and you will be solving it. Like 3 minus E, 4 minus E, like that. You will be solving it, you will be putting it, and then you will be able to solve it, and you will be getting the value of E minimum and E upper bound. Like you will be getting two values. Depending on that, you can get smallest root and largest root, like what is the minimum value and what is the highest value. So for that, so now I'll be telling you how to remember this equation. Clear? So for that, just pay attention. So what will happen now? So this equation you have to remember, because from here only you have to solve the question. In this is very important. This is very important. So this is, I'm writing over here. So this thing you have to remember. So people who belong to bio background and also who don't know about it. So this is called, guys, this is called matrix. Fine. This is called matrix, and these are called rows. If I have to say, these are called rows. Again, this is rows. Fine. And these are vertical things are called columns. Vertical things are called columns. Fine. And this is the rule of matrix, that you always put rows first and then columns first. Remember RC. You'll always put rows first and then column later on. Fine. Rows first, columns later on. Clear? So if I have to write over H, you have to write everything in terms of this. H, wait, I'll just rub it so that things are more clear and things are more visible. So I'll be writing over here. Wait. So yeah, I'll be writing over here in that form. H minus E S, everything will be in this form. H minus E S. H, you have to write it like this. Like how many times that is given, 1, 2, like that. So you have to write in this form only. Like only 2 into 2 matrix will be there. Like 2 rows and 2 columns will be given. So not more than that will be given, I guess. If that is given, I'll be telling you how to solve that also. But for like, this is the easiest one, 2 into 2. 2 into 2 means 2 rows and 2 columns. Fine. So what will I do? I'll put it. I told you how to do the numbering. First rows and then columns. Then first. What is this row? This is first row. This is first row. This is second row. And again, this is first column and this is second column. Fine. I'm writing over here columns and this is rows. Fine. So this is rows means this is first number. Row is first and then column. This is 1. Again with S also, because we took H11, S11, I'll write with S. So S means first row and second column. Yeah, first row and first column, sorry. It will be 1, 1 only. And here if I come to this, you can see this is first row and second column. So I'll write first row and second column. S with same with first row and second column. And same with here. This is second row and first column. So second row, first column, second row, first column. Same with here. This is second row, second column. I'll write second row, second column. And this is second row and second column. Fine. So this is like that only. You will be writing over here H11 minus ES1, H12 minus ES12, H21 minus ES21, H22 minus ES22. So when you will be putting, everything will be given in the question tailor-made for you. You just have to put values over here and then you will be good to go to solve the determinant part. And in the next video, I'll be talking about, this is the summary, like this is basically summary I have written over here. You can see we take 2 constituents. So here 2 into 2 matrix were made. Fine. So if you will take n constituent of trial wave function, it would be n into n matrix. Fine. Suppose if there is like 3 constituents are there, C151 plus C252 plus C353, like that. So 3 into 3 matrix will be there, like 3 rows, 3 columns, like that. Fine. It would be like this: H11 minus ES1, H12 minus ES12, and then H13 minus ES13, like that, till 3 number. And same with here. 2 more rows will be there, and like that the matrix will be made like this. Clear? So I hope there is no problem in this, and in the next lecture you can see I'll be taking one question based on this. One question based on this. So if let's have a look over it. So this is the question which came in December 2012. So I'll be discussing that question in the next class, and that would be very easy question. Then again I'll be discussing the second question, which is 2017 question, came in 2017, and we'll be good to go. and two more question, like two more lectures, and we'll be done with linear variational principle, and then we'll be jumping to Huckel molecular orbital theory. That is very, very, very important topic, like the most important topic of quantum. If I have to choose something, I'll choose something from Huckel molecular orbital theory, right? So it is that important. Every once in a while you'll see question from this Huckel molecular orbital theory, and that is very easy thing, completely dependent on this thing only, the linear variational principle, this H1E S1, like this, these things. So don't be afraid of these things. If you have any doubt, please feel free to use the comment section. Please ask your doubts in the comment section or in Telegram group. And we are done for today, and I'll see all of you in the next one with a new question, new previous year question. Until then, take care and bye bye. Keep smiling. Bye.